Hello, everyone. My name is Sam, and today I'd like to talk to you about an issue that I think every American should be concerned about, and that is our First Amendment rights. Now, usually when we think about First Amendment rights, we're thinking about the government taking power away, or more taking the freedom of speech away from people. But I personally believe that the First Amendment should be more robust, meaning that no one should be allowed to silence you. Now, if you're in a private institution, or if you're in a private gathering and someone says, sit down, be quiet, or they ask you to leave, then that's a different story. But I believe if you are anywhere in a public area, you should be able to express whatever you want to express. Now, I say this right is under attack, and surprisingly, it is not by what we usually think of. Traditionally, right-leaning groups have been opponents of freedom of speech. But I think today it is now the left-leaning groups that are oppressing freedom of speech. And this new wave of liberalism, in my opinion, is toxic to America. We've seen this at Yale, where students were calling for a teacher's resignation because of comments he made in an email. Yale, one of the most cherished, prestigious institutions of America, is now being under attack by these left-leaning students who deemed his speech inappropriate. Or excuse me, not even inappropriate, just politically incorrect. Now, I speak to you as someone who is left-leaning. I would self-describe myself as a liberal, but I do not stand with these particular students and their quest to silence those who they disagree with. I believe bad ideas should be combated with good ideas. Good ideas have always, maybe not always, but have at least always shone light on bad ideas. But unfortunately, these misguided students have taken to restricting freedoms of speech, and in the case of Missouri, the freedom of the press, when they stopped that student journalist from taking a picture of the protest site. These well-intentioned people, in my opinion, are trying to censor freedom of speech. Now, I'm not going to just talk about these students, because there's a far worse threat to freedom of speech, and he is the front runner of the Republican Party, Donald Trump. And here's why I think he is a threat. He has said he wishes to enact tougher libel laws, and that he wants to hold these press people accountable for what they say. But what have they said about him? All they have done is quoted him in context. They have reported what he wants to do, as they should. So Donald Trump is a threat to freedom of speech. So, what can we do? I think the answer is quite simple. We combat these bad ideas with good ideas. If you agree with me, then I urge you to combat these bad ideas with good ideas.